Why can't ChatGPT play Hangman? An important part of getting better with ChatGPT is understanding how it's thinking under the hood. And I found a funny example that I think illustrates what it's good at and also what it's not good at, and how ChatGPT can lead you down some bad roads at times. Was asking ChatGPT if we could play a game. And so I suggested something like Wheel of Fortune. I said, hey, could you be a host for Wheel of Fortune or Hangman, and it said something like, hey, we don't have a wheel to spin, so let's play some Hangman. So, all right, I'll say this, let's play Hangman. All right, so we're going to play Hangman. It's going to choose a word for me to guess, and I'm going to start by guessing a letter. So let's just do an E. Oh, cool. It looks like we had an E. We'll do an A too. Oh, man, and there's no A in there. All right, let's do... oh, you know what I wanted? Is there a category with this word? I know Hangman doesn't, but Wheel of Fortune does. Okay, so animals. All right, cool. So we got a category. So E, A, I don't know. Let's go with R. Pretty common. Oh, sweet. We got an R. Let's see. Is there an L? E, there's no, oh, E-L, word that ends in E-L-R. All right, I don't know. Is B? I'm kind of drawing a blank here. Let's see. Oh, cool. B blank E-L-R. Interesting. B, an animal. B blank E-L-R. Man, sort of feels like there probably has to be a vowel. Let's try an O. No, not an O. Let's try a U. Yes, it was the Bueller. Yeah, so it's, oh, look, it seems there's an error in the word. I apologize for the oversight. The word should be blank U blank ER. Let's correct that. That's the correct. Oh, we can continue the game. Oh, great. Okay, so we have an animal is B blank U blank ER. I think you get the point here. And the point is that when we asked ChatGPT to play a game of Hangman, it gave us the blanks, but it did not have a word in mind. And I later asked for a category, and it was not referencing a category that it had decided upon early. And it did not look at the word that it had picked earlier and say, hey, what category does this fall into? It just gave me, what is this, 5 blanks. It just gave me 5 underscores. It did not have a word in mind. And then what ChatGPT is doing, it's often pejoratively referred to as fancy autocomplete. And that's not actually a bad mental model of how this is operating. And sometimes that model of fancy autocomplete is ridiculously useful. If you're writing a paper or you're writing an email, guessing what is the next word makes a lot of sense. But in the case here of playing a game like Hangman, and let's just be clear, playing a game like Hangman, this is a computer science 101 exercise. If you just sat down and you just learned to code, there's a very, like say you're picking up Python, for instance, there's a very good chance that within your first 2 or 3 lessons of learning Python, you would be able to write a Hangman game. This is super simple, right? And ChatGPT is getting it wrong. And that is because ChatGPT is not operating like a computer in the way that most of us have thought of software as operating for most of our lives, right? But it is very convincing. And what it is doing here, it is guessing what the next part of this chat transcript should look like. And so ChatGPT knows what a game of Hangman looks like. It knows that when you play a game of Hangman, that there would typically be some blank spaces, and then someone would guess some letters, and then, oftentimes they get the first letter or 2 right, and then, typically they start moving on to words that are a little bit less frequently used, and so you tend to get 1 or 2 wrong, but, it's typically a happy ending, and everyone celebrates when eventually you get to the end and you complete it. And so this hit all of the notes of a game of Hangman, but it was not a coherent game of Hangman. And I think that this is just super important to think about as you use ChatGPT and you think about the types of tasks that it is good for and the type of task where it deviates from what we are accustomed to when we interact with software. as you start working with ChatGPT, just keep that in mind. You know, there are some things that it is incredibly great at and so powerful for, but there are other use cases when a very, very simple software application would suffice better.